is going to be our weekly show for this week. We are scheduling to do a lot more mini shows from now on. But let's get my nameplate up there. I am, of course, Mark Williams, and I am joined once again, returning back from the ACW or AEW. What's ACW? I don't even know what that
is. I'm not sure about that.
From wrestling, the one and only Mr. John Falkowski.
Yeah, AEW was at Prudential Center on Wednesday. I will be there this Wednesday at Arthur Ashe. So we're going to have a good card this week, but we're here to talk hockey now. So let's get cracking on hockey.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we're going to be sans Anthony for this afternoon, but don't worry, he'll be here with us in spirits. All right, so before we get started, you just get that feeling like somebody's returning back to help us.
Stand alone. Not alone. Rohit!
Thank God hockey's back. And again, I left the Pittsburgh Penguins in there. Don't even know why. But we all make mistakes. Also because I only had a few hours of sleep. That's on me. Yeah. So preseason and training camps start Friday. Preseason Sunday. Training camps for regular NHLers start on Wednesday. We watched the games of the rookies, the Rangers rookies versus the Flyers rookies. Any thoughts on what you've seen so far, Filk?
Yeah, Morgan Barron. Sorry, I had a brain fart there. Yeah, Morgan Barron looks like he's ready. I mean, I know it's against other prospects, but he looked good last year in the final games of the season. And I was very happy with his progress then. He looked great in these games. Lauri Palmieri, even though I don't think he's going to make the team. And yeah, that is a Zelda cap.
Yes, so, it's with a C, not an X. That's kind of a little bit different if it's Marks.
Yeah, Marks. Great. We're all Marks over here.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had some good looking prospects. Will Cooley, I think, might have turned the most heads out of anyone in the entire two games. Nils Lundkvist was solid. I know he was going to play with them because he just doesn't have the experience that someone like Vitaly Kravtsov did, and that's why they didn't want Vitaly Kravtsov at the prospect development camp, is because he's just beyond that point. I really think that Nils Lundkvist is going to make this roster. I just, after Chris Drury's comments and then after seeing him in this tournament, I'm not going to say that he looked exceptional. I thought he was very good. Could he have been better? Sure. He had a couple of gaffes, but I'm not worried about anything with him. He's going to have a spot. And then yeah, Morgan Barron looked like if he doesn't get a spot over Kevin Rooney or someone else in that bottom six, I'd be shocked. I really would be shocked. Then Lori Palmieri shows that he's got an NHL level shot. He's got some skills, and I really do think that he's a potential middle six winger one day. It's just a matter of working on the skating and working on the other things. So,
and speaking about which, this is actually a clip of the Nils Lundkvist goal from yesterday. And unlike the Rangers feed on Saturday, the Flyers actually had announcers for this.
Reunion trying to get one through traffic there. Now it comes back out. Lundkvist moving in. He shoots and he scores. Nils Lundkvist beats Kirill Ustimenko high to the glove side. And
look who's on the ice with him there. Number 49, Lori Palmieri.
Palmieri is the one who actually made the play. And I mean, Tomo Reunanen could have been there for a backdoor goal too. So it's just it's the way, you know, they're prospects. They're prospects for a reason, and they're there to develop. I didn't see anything bad out of.
I got to thank Gunton Granny for that.
Hey,
by the way.
Thanks, Granny. All right. See, that's why we always try to like improve and have plenty of good hockey talk. But I mean, I didn't see anything like out of the ordinary to be alarmed about either Matthew Robertson or Tomo Reunanen, or I mean, the list goes on and on. But just they got solid prospects.
Up and down.
Yeah. The question is, can they get a little bit just to NHL level and be better? So that's where that comes in. Nils Lundkvist, I think, is going to be just fine. I think they want him to make this team, and I think they want him on this opening night roster, but more on the other guys on that later. So as you can see in our ticker on the bottom, we are going to be me, Filk, Anthony, and one more person. I still have no idea who that's going to be. Are going to be at the game on Sunday. And we're gonna do probably at least one video, maybe have a couple beers and talk about what we're expecting in this game. And can't wait to see what we're going to be seeing in the preseason. But Phil, this is my question to you. What exactly are you looking for specifically when you're looking at we'll start with the New York Rangers on what are you looking for in the preseason?
For the Rangers, I would say the development of the kids. It's just I usually don't put a whole lot of stock into what the veterans do in the preseason because they're just finding their stride. That's it. They're just getting their legs under them, just getting some reps in. That's really all it is for the veterans. But it's the youth that you really want to see here. You want to see the kids who you don't expect to make the roster come in and see how they play and see if they force the organization to start making some decisions or at least thinking about them. So if they start to think about having to make those decisions, then that's something to look at in terms of progress in a player. And that's really what I'm looking for here. I'm not looking for much in terms of, like I said, the veterans or anyone else. Even the players that you think that are 2-3 years away. How do they look in the preseason? How do they look against players in similar positions at similar ages and similar statures and at similar points in their career development wise? So that's the biggest thing for me for the Rangers.
I agree with you on that aspect of what to look for because you want to know how a player is going to deal with adversity if he has to take it. Our friend Statboy Steven says he always watched players when they go back to the bench. And that's a big thing.
Body language is important.
Yeah, it's also seeing when a play breaks down or when or when a puck just doesn't go their way. What I'm going to specifically look for this season, and it's the Gallant effect. I want to see how this team is going to be playing differently. You won't see it as much on Sunday, but I think as this preseason goes on, because I was watching games with when Barry Trotz took over in 2018, and I was starting to look at them and go, the Islanders are going to be a much better team this year. They're going to be a hard forechecking team. They were going to be difficult to play against. There's one fly that's in my room. I have no idea why it just flew in front of my face. But there were all these things I was looking at and going, the Islanders are going to be a better team. I want to see that same effect with the New York Rangers and Gerard Gallant, because now they have a competent head coach. And I mean that with with no due respect to David Quinn. It's just the Gerard Gallant is could you say he's an elite level head coach yet?
I mean, the guy's got a Jack Adams. He's
Stanley Cup final berth.
He's got real good results in two different locations that you didn't expect him to have real good results in, and he took a first-year team to a Stanley Cup Finals. So, I mean, if by elite, are we just talking in terms of elite right now? Because if we're talking career elite, like, no, obviously not. He's not near Quenneville or Babcock or any of those guys at that point, you know. But, I mean, Trotz, obviously, guys like that. But, you know, right now, he's still got to be one of the better head coaches in the entire NHL. So you're right. The point of how him coming in and implementing that system and seeing how quickly this team adapts to that system is going to be an interesting storyline to watch. I mean, my caveat would be to just not expect too much because, again, it's preseason. So you're not going to have complete lineups on there. I mean, you'd be lucky if you've got the opening night regulars in there for one game together, I think. So
usually it's
let's just take it in and take it in and enjoy hockey and enjoy the fact that we can watch this without having to give a crap about the record.
Or the results.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Results. Like take, for instance, next week, there's no bragging rights at stake at all. Going further, though, into that, because systems could either take hold right away or it could take time. And we know that as Ranger fans, because the 2013 New York Rangers, the month of October is one of the worst in their franchise history. Yeah. And that's a season that culminated with being 3 wins away from the Stanley Cup Finals. And by the way, that was the Stanley Cup. I mean, that was 3 goals away from winning the Stanley Cup. Yes. So that's something. Sorry, guys, if I'm giving anybody PTSD.
Those 4 letters that I love to say so often up here because you like to trigger those in me.
Well, you know, I guess sometimes it's that I need to face my own demons. So that's the way I just always look at that.
No, I think you're just a masochist and you enjoy torturing me, but that's another story.
Or a sadist and enjoy torturing myself as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Other news was made this week, but before we flip completely over to see what we're going to ask for about the Islanders. We're still going to do it, even though Anthony's not here. Zdeno Chara signed with the Islanders after a 20-year absence. What exactly is your take on that?
It's depth. It's not a bad move at all. I don't think he really has much left. But he's a mentor back there. He's a leader. I believe he was the second European-born captain to lead a team to a Stanley Cup. The first, obviously, being Nicholas Lidstrom in 2008. But you know what? He's got leadership. He can teach someone like Noah Dobson how to continue to be a better pro. He can lend his intelligence and his knowledge and his wisdom to guys like Ryan Pullock and Adam Pelech. I mean, I know they're veterans, but you think that they're not going to sit there and listen when Zdeno freaking Chara speaks? They're going to. And that entire locker room, regardless of position, is going to. Because the man knows what it takes to win. I know we were talking about this last night at the bar because NHL Network was showing the game. But Wayne Gretzky always referred to that loss, that fourth loss to get swept in the 1983 Stanley Cup Finals, and going back into by the Islanders locker room and just seeing them somber, hunched over, and looking like they were just like they just lost the game almost. And he said at that point, I knew what it took to win it all. And you know what? Zdeno Chara can tell that team, a team that's been beaten 2 times in a row by Tampa Bay in the Eastern Conference Finals, just going that short of getting to the Stanley Cup Finals, what it takes to win. The Islanders are going to be a hungry team, and Zdeno Chara can definitely help. So that'll be an interesting thing to look at.
He's going to provide some leadership and also the physical play, and just being on the ice is going to really help because it's hard to avoid his 6'9" frame. I think, and you're right about that, because he's also been to the top of the mountain, lost at the top of the mountain twice, and he's been involved in some disappointing playoff losses. So we'll just exactly see where that goes. The Islanders also brought in Eric Gustafsson to a PTO. On previous videos that we've done over the last year, John's always referred to it as a needle mover like this or one like this. This is more like a ooh. So Eric Gustafsson, he was good for the Blackhawks a couple years ago when I picked him up in fantasy, and since then him being a regular has kind of been a fantasy. I think he's been through 4 organizations since then. So John, what exactly are you looking for from the Islanders in the preseason?
The one thing I'm going to look at for me is the most interesting storyline is the play of Oliver Wahlstrom. I want to see what he does in the preseason. I want to see him get off to a good start. I want to see if he can pick up from the middle toward the end of last year when he was riding that wave of good play. And he played some good hockey in the playoffs when he played too. So I want to see if he can be a guy that can step up into the top 6 and acclimate himself as a big-time scorer for them. And I think he can. Excuse me.
Oh, totally fine.
Yeah, but he's a guy that I think will need to get off to a good start. I think that would be very beneficial for him to get off to a good start and get a couple of goals in the preseason and start to really gain Barry Trotz's trust. Dave over here saying with a good one, I don't know if this is yours or not, because how Anders Lee will bounce back from his knee injury. And that's a real good one.
You'll know more about that, I think, around November. And Anders Lee isn't exactly a speedster, so he's more about strength in front of the net. Mine is just, are they better? I'm not convinced about that. I think they're not that laterally is bad for the Islanders either. It's just I don't think and that's unfortunately that's something you're not going to see in the preseason. How are they replacing Jordan Eberle? How are they mixing up their third unit? Are they promoting Wahlstrom? Are they going to get a power play that's going to put the puck in the net? That's what's going to separate them from being a Stanley Cup champion, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah,
but we're gonna find out more about that soon enough. So I do want to put this question back up again. What do you guys think? What are you looking for in the preseason? What type of specific idiosyncrasies are you looking at to say, hey, this is what I want to see from this team, or maybe you're seeing something you don't want to see? So throw it all down in the comments below. If you like that video, we got a lot more. So check out any of these that are right over here. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Your ideas are intriguing to me, and I wish to subscribe to your newsletter.